Avoid swimming in the Roanoke River that feeds into Lake Gaston. There's a water advisory after a release of chemicals from an industrial fire in Southfield, Virginia. The State Department of Environmental Quality says this is all out of an abundance of caution. Still, some people who live nearby have concerns.
If the warnings or statements issued from the health department and whatnot said that there are chemicals you need to be aware, then I probably would want to stay out.
It's not clear if or when those contaminants will reach North Carolina, but the DEQ will continue to monitor and post updates on their website.
In a closed-door trial today, a Russian court convicted Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich on a spying charge. The court sentenced him to 16 years in a high-security penal colony, possibly opening a way for a prisoner swap between the United States and Russia. Nate Foy examines that probability.
A Russian court handed down a lengthy prison sentence for detained American journalist Evan Gershkovich. The court found the Wall Street Journal reporter guilty of espionage charges in a trial the U.S. government called a sham, while Russian authorities severely limited media access during the trial.
The charges of espionage have been used as a pretext to detain Mr. Gershkovich. There is discrimination behind the decision to deprive him of his liberty.
Russian authorities arrested the 32-year-old Gershkovich in the city of Yekaterinburg in March of last year. Prosecutors say he acted as a spy for the CIA, while the U.S. State Department contends he's wrongfully detained. And while the trial proceeded largely in secret, outside the courthouse, diplomats from the U.S., the U.K., and other allies all gathered to show their support.
The objective is to show the UK's solidarity with Evan Gershkovich and our staunch support for freedom of the press.
It's not clear exactly what happens next. Gershkovich will begin serving his sentence immediately, but the conclusion of the criminal proceeding now opens the door for a possible prisoner swap. And the administration says it's reviewing its options.
This whole legal process is a sham for Evan. He is being wrongfully detained. He did nothing wrong. We have been clear about that from the onset.
And that was Nate Foy reporting. Now, Dow Jones, the parent company of the Wall Street Journal, called the conviction disgraceful and a sham.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, some breaking news. Tiger Woods has ended his season at the British Open in Scotland after missing the cut for the third straight time in a major. He actually set a record at the Masters by making the cut for the 24th consecutive time. He said he would not play again until December at his unofficial Hero World Challenge in the Bahamas and the PNC Championship with his son.
Fans feel pretty lucky they got to see him in the U.S. Open at Pinehurst. Just a short time ago, former Trump Organization Chief Financial Officer Alan Weisselberg walked out Rikers Island a free man. Weisselberg served 100 days for lying during an investigation into Donald Trump's real estate business. Weisselberg was sentenced to 5 months as part of a plea deal, but with time off for good behavior, he only served 100 days. 5 people are expected to recover after their tourist helicopter crashed in Bali. The helicopter crashed on a limestone cliff on the southern side of Bali today. The pilot and 4 passengers were able to free themselves. Reports from the scene say the tourists were getting a bird's eye view of potential investment properties. Video from the scene with the rotor snapped off the cabin and what appears to be kite strings wrapped around the blade. The crash is under investigation.
We remain in a stormy weather pattern, but at least we're getting a break from that high heat we've been experiencing. Let's welcome back meteorologist Kat Campbell in the WRAL Severe Weather Center over the board. And we saw some rain coming down in Dix Park a little bit ago.
We did. The rain's still very lightly coming down. You have to look pretty close to see it out there. They're pretty small droplets, but it's nice to see the grass so green here in Raleigh. And if you look over here, there's still a puddle from yesterday's rain. Not enough rain out there right now to cause any puddles, but we still have opportunities for some heavier rain later today. Still in the 80s out there, the sunset before 8:30, so it's getting earlier these days. Let's take a look at where we've got showers across Wake County right now. We've got a little bit of light rain starting to pop up in Apex, and we've got some rain around Crossroads over into Raleigh along I-40, mainly on the south side of town over toward Gardner. This is just kind of sitting here in one spot, and if you look at the loop over the past 30 minutes, it's kind of expanding. It's slowly, but nevertheless, it's going to sit there for a bit longer. So some healthy rain. It's not coming too fast for the ground to absorb it at this point. We've got some showers in our eastern counties as well. No lightning yet, and we're likely to see some more rain later this afternoon. Check out the temperatures, though. Upper 70s in Fayetteville, Southern Pines, and Clinton, 83 in South Hill, 79 in Roxborough, and 78 in Goldsboro. Boy, it feels nice out there compared to what we've seen lately, but still very humid. About as good as it's going to get, though, in July, right? If you are headed out for a dog walk this afternoon, it should feel a bit more comfortable out there. Be prepared for more rain and more lightning in any rain once we get past about 4 o'clock today. By the evening hours, temperatures are back in the 70s with just smaller rain chances overnight. Our cold front just sitting here. It's stuck in North Carolina. It's going to bounce back and forth across the state over the next 48 hours, helping to generate more rain and storms. During the day tomorrow, I think there's a small chance of rain in the morning. I mean, the front's still here. We still have so much available moisture that we do have a small chance for morning rain, but the better chances for rain and more coverage on the radar will come as we get toward 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon and last into tomorrow evening. You could see some rain 8 to 10 o'clock as well tomorrow. It backs off overnight, and then Sunday, we're back to these scattered storms that pop up around lunchtime, lasting through the afternoon and evening. 5 o'clock here, you can see scattered coverage of those storms. It's going to be like this for the next several days. We start out with the clouds, we clear up a little, and then showers and storms form during the afternoon. Tomorrow, we are back under a severe weather threat. It's a level 1 out of 5 threat for severe storms, damaging wind gusts, the main concern tomorrow. Yesterday, we were under a level 2 threat, so it's 1 tier lower than yesterday's threat. As for how much rain we could see through Sunday, most models are showing between about half an inch and an inch of rain over the next couple of days. Looking ahead, a very unsettled weather pattern shaping up, but the hottest day on the entire 7-day comes next Tuesday at 90 degrees. So we're not doing too bad in the temperature department. We still could use the rain. I know a lot of farmers are happy to see some green once again. I'll have a closer look at when this pattern could eventually change again coming up.
For now, keep the rain coming. Kat, thanks. Today at 4, as uncertainty swirls in the Democratic Party on President Biden's competency, we look at how much time and money Democrats are spending in North Carolina and why. WRAL Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie breaks it all down in our Decision 2024 coverage.
And tonight at 5, for the last 3 years, family members have been reaching out to WRAL with concerns about the upkeep at a Dunn cemetery. Now they say conditions are getting worse. WRAL's Gilbert Bays brings us their latest push for better care of their loved ones. Our new news continues now. If you're planning a trip, Uber wants to help you stick to your budget. How the app is now providing additional information to help you enjoy your trip without surprises.
And adding in a little bit of laughter can be beneficial to parents. How humor impacts children's view of their caregivers, coming up.
Well, online spending surged during Amazon's Prime Day event. Americans spent more than $14 billion during the 2-day sales event. That was up 11% from last year's Prime Day. This year, consumers snapped up deals on televisions, tablets, and other electronics at Amazon and other retailers. Last year, shoppers battered by inflation stocked up more on household essentials and office supplies. Well, Netflix added another 8 million subscribers last quarter as it cracked down on password sharing. The streaming giant ended the quarter with more than 277 million customers worldwide. Shows like Bridgerton and Baby Reindeer helped drive viewership. Netflix said revenue jumped 17% for the period, which was more than it had forecast. Netflix also plans to start phasing out its lowest cost ad-free basic plan in the United States.
New changes in the Uber app now give riders around the world more information about fares and wait times in about 10,000 cities. Users can select destination in the Plan Your Trip menu and then scroll down to search different cities. The app also lets riders book a virtual car ride to see the average trip time and reserve a ride several days before. The new features are meant to provide more information for people who may be planning to travel to another city. Meta is rolling out a new feature that it says will help you build engagement on your Instagram posts. Instagram's Notes feature now expands to Reels and feed posts. The update will let people leave notes directly on those posts. Before the changes, notes appeared at the top of your inbox or above your profile picture. Only your friends can see your notes, and they can be deleted at any time. You can turn it off in your settings.
Well, the union representing many behind-the-scenes film workers reaching a deal with studios. Members of the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees voted to ratify a 3-year contract. The deal raises wages 7% the first year, then 4% and 3.5% the following years. That's the same structure agreed to by SAG-AFTRA members last year in that union's high-profile strike. The contract also contains protections against artificial intelligence.
A technology outage is making daily operations difficult at businesses, hospitals, and banks around the world. After the break, we'll go back to RDU for a live update on the situation for airline passengers.
And the COVID pandemic affected just about every aspect of life, including the Olympics. Coming up, veteran and rookie members of Team USA explain what they expect from this year's experience. And here's a look at your winning lottery numbers right there on your screen.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
From banks to hospitals and everything in between, a cyber outage is affecting businesses worldwide.
Yeah, the computer outage is linked to an update overnight from a cybersecurity company called CrowdStrike. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey live at RDU International, where passengers are encountering some serious cancellations and delays. Kelsey.
Ken, really a chaotic day for a lot of travelers here at RDU. There's some folks that are just sitting down waiting for their flights to take off. And then there's a lot of activity here at the Delta check-in. We've definitely been noticing that. And I just checked on FlightAware about 5 minutes ago, and it looks like there are 100 delays and 52 cancellations here at RDU. Now, Delta, Frontier, American, and United Airlines all say they have resumed some of their flights. We spoke with a woman from Morrisville who was stuck in the Atlanta airport. This is what she says the outage was like there.
The computers are totally down. They're all saying like unoperational. There's no screens, or if it's a screen, it's a blue error screen. They're kind of like flashing here and there. So everything, there's just really no way to know how you're supposed to get anywhere or where you're supposed to go.
And if you're planning to travel today, it's best to make sure that you have your airlines app open just so you can stay up to date on any possible cancellations or delays. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live at RDU.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, take a look at this. Therapy dogs are actually comforting people at airports right now, those that are experiencing those flight delays and cancellations. Also, this afternoon, we're seeing local governments and service providers still seeing some outages. We've reached out to the NCDMV. They say their offices right now are unable to assist customers due to the current outage. They're working to get everything back online as quickly as they can. But this afternoon, we're also hearing from the CEO of CrowdStrike, George Kurtz. He is apologizing to customers, saying that they are deeply sorry for all of the pain they've caused. The FCC is still working to determine the extent of these communications outages. They say the recovery could be a very long process. Many places right now still not accepting credit cards, including many gas stations in our area. Many that work here reported having trouble at the gas stations because you need to have cash at some places. UPS also still warning customers about some delays. We're going to keep an eye on everything and bring you the latest from the Live Center.
All right, investigators are working to determine what caused this fire that destroyed a home in Moore County. This happened on Lastway Drive near Pinehurst just about 8:30 last night. Fire officials say one of the homeowners walked outside and saw the garage fully engulfed. Both people who lived there were able to get out safely along with their dog. Well, today marks 1 year since a destructive EF3 tornado hit Nash County. The tornado touched down on July 19th, 2023, around 12:30 in the afternoon in the Battleboro and Dorchester communities. days. An estimated 90 homes and buildings were damaged or destroyed, including the Pfizer plant at Rocky Mount. It is the first EF3 tornado to ever hit central North Carolina in the month of July. And amazingly, no one died in this tornado hit.
We are just 1 week away from the opening ceremony of the Paris Olympics. And after a couple of pandemic-impaired games, this one hopes to give athletes a true Olympic experience. NBC's Mark Barger spoke with some members of Team USA about what they can expect from this year's Olympics.
Victory at the U.S. trials has 400-meter runner Kendall Ellis headed to her second Olympics, although Paris may feel like her first after competing in Tokyo 3 years ago.
There were no fans, my parents weren't there, my friends weren't there, and it's a totally different experience.
Because of COVID. The pandemic created a sterile setting, especially compared to what Lily King experienced in Rio.
I think everyone that was in Tokyo that wasn't a rookie in Tokyo will acknowledge that it was weird.
And flat out frustrating for Drew Kibler. He was among more than 400 rookie U.S. Olympians in Tokyo.
It was just kind of a constant, like, oh my gosh, like, how are we going to be perfect and not have anybody test positive? So I'm looking forward to just enjoying not having that stress.
And everything that stress entailed for athletes like silver medalist Chris Nilsen.
I won't have to spit in a tube every morning and every night. I won't have to go with a shot in my arm.
She is pulling away from the rest of the pack.
Nevin Harrison overcame it all in Tokyo to win a gold in canoeing, and she hopes to do it again, this time in front of fans.
I'm so excited not just to have the experience with fans in general, but also to have the people I love be right there in the crowd is going to be really, really special.
And very different from 3 years ago.
It's Paris. Everybody wants to go to Paris. I'm going to Paris.
The wait is almost over. Mark Barger, NBC News.
We'll be in a pretty amazing city, and to hear the roar of a live crowd again at the Olympic events, that'll be something. Olympians did not get to leave the athletes' village much in Tokyo for the Summer Games except to compete, and then they had to return to their home country shortly after they were finished competing. WRAL is your exclusive Olympic station. You can watch the competitions, medal ceremonies, and live analysis all on WRAL. We'll have live reports from Paris in our 6 a.m. news at 6 p.m. and 11 p.m.
Well, back here at home, Raleigh leaders want you to learn, live, and eat tomorrow at what they're calling Saturday on South. They will have free food and fun for the whole family on West South Street between Dawson and McDowell Streets. The city says it's a chance to learn about the plan to relocate Red Hat Amphitheater in this area. If the plan is adopted, South Street will likely be closed between Dawson and McDowell Streets for pedestrian traffic. Well, Go Raleigh will resume collecting fares on September 1st. Now, to help prepare passengers, the city is introducing a new way to pay. Bus service has been free for the last 4 years following the COVID pandemic. Well, this month, passengers explore the best ticketing options. Next month, riders will be asked to use a UMO mobile app, or UMO card or cash. Riders can receive a promo code or complimentary pass to adapt to return to fares. Passengers can tap or swipe to board the bus for free starting next month.
Ken, you and I know this. It helps to have a sense of humor as a parent. How new research says it can enhance your relationship with your kids.
I got a few dad jokes here and there. Also, it's all red, white, and blue in this NICU. How a Missouri hospital is celebrating Team USA and the strength of these little fighters. Well, download the WRAL News app and get breaking news alerts and important weather information wherever you are. Watch live streams or live newscasts and on-demand video right on your device. Infants born with a common virus could have a higher chance of developing autism spectrum disorder. It's called cytomegalovirus, or CMV. It's typically harmless in healthy people, but 1 in 3 infected mothers can spread it to their fetus. Babies with CMV are 2.5 times more likely to develop autism. Researchers also found infant girls with CMV have a higher autism risk than boys.
2 years after the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline launched, the service has answered more than 10 million texts, calls, and chats. The crisis number used to be 10 digits long. It transitioned to 3 numbers in July 2022. It was part of the Biden administration's strategy to address our national mental health crisis. 988 texts and calls are up more than a third since last year. If you or anyone you know is experiencing a mental health crisis, dial 988 to be connected with resources where you are.
A new study suggests moving frequently during childhood may bring a higher risk of developing depression later in life. The study reveals children ages 10 to 15 who move are 41% more likely to develop depression in adulthood. When kids move twice or more, that number jumps up to 61%. The research was done from 1991 to 2001, following more than 10 million people's addresses and mental health. On the flip side, a new study shows better parent-child relationships are built on jokes. Researchers talked to 300 people about their experiences being raised with or without humor. The study published found people raised by adults with a sense of humor had a better view of their parents or caregivers. Experts do say, though, the study is small and future research is needed.
Jaw-dropping video of a deadly crane accident in Florida.
Go over there, away from the crane. It's already falling. It could keep falling. Walk over there.
New images reveal the chaos in the aftermath of an accident that left one construction worker dead.
Also, a special honor for the Apollo Theater in Harlem. How the structure will go down in history at a special event held in the nation's capital.
Deputies in Southern California say a domestic dispute ended with a deadly samurai sword attack. When authorities arrived on scene, they found a woman standing near a parked U-Haul truck with a sword in her hand. Officers ordered her to drop the weapon, and she complied. The woman pointed to a nearby home where investigators found another woman with severe cuts, and she was pronounced dead at the scene. A third woman in the home was not physically hurt. Now to a heartbreaking story out of Louisiana where a father could face charges in the accidental shooting death of his child. 2 children were at home with a man who says he stepped into the kitchen for a moment. He returned to the bedroom to find the 3-year-old injured. Police say the boy found the gun between the mattress and the box spring and shot himself. The father tried to revive the child but was unsuccessful. A 5-year-old who was in the home was not physically hurt.
Well, new videos released by the Fort Lauderdale police show the terrifying moments after a crane fell onto a bridge last April. A construction worker died and several others were injured. Steve Litz walks us through this incredible video.
Video from the bridge tender house with an up-close look at a chunk of a crane falling on 2 vehicles in downtown Fort Lauderdale. A dashboard camera from farther away with another angle. The moments after were intense.
Go over there, away from the crane. It's already falling. It could keep falling. Walk over there. Hey.
That thing almost fell on me, okay?
Police body-worn camera captured first responders interacting with victims.
Come on, okay. We need you to get moving. This crane might collapse.
My mind is pretty messed up.
Okay.
But if I could have my phone.
The incident happened April 4th at a residential tower under construction right next to the New River. A chunk of the crane and construction materials broke off, falling onto the 3rd Avenue Bridge. Workers told police the segment of the crane fell from the very top of the structure.
Something snapped that made that thing fall. Okay. Because that thing was already in place.
Okay.
So something snapped.
So there's nothing that hit it or caused it to fail?
No.
Worker Jorge de la Torre fell to his death. Gemelin Castillo was badly injured. And this was her right after it happened. She was in the back seat of a ride share, a Tesla, when the chunk of crane fell on the car. She's filed suit against the crane company, the general contractor, and others. Her attorney has seen the video.
When these types of things happen, as a community, we have to look and say, what are we doing to make sure it doesn't happen again? Because right now, I haven't heard anything about any criminal charges. And where's the accountability?
And that was Steve Litz reporting. Now, Fort Lauderdale police have wrapped their investigation. They found nothing criminal and called it an accident. An investigation by OSHA is ongoing.
even so, just horrific for those who are just driving and suddenly something like that falls from the sky. 12:46 now. Let's get a check of weather with meteorologist Kat Campbell. We have rain falling from the sky. It's a welcome sight.
It is a welcome sight. I mean, we still need the rain. Even though it seems like we've seen a lot more rain lately, we are still in a deficit. In North Hills, it is raining. In North Raleigh right now, pretty good little downpour here. No lightning just yet, so we're not looking at the severe weather threat that we had yesterday. The main concern here would be heavy rain today. We have a couple of pockets of heavier rain. Nothing that looks like we're going to see imminent flooding at this point. The issue is the showers that are popping up across Wake County are not moving. So if we see this for another couple of hours, we could run into some issues. Some rain coming down inside the Beltline right now, and in North Raleigh, we've also got showers in Cary and Apex. Down in Garner, the rain's about to pick up there, and Wendell's seeing some rain. I know the folks in Wendell have not seen as much rain lately, so good news for folks there. You can kind of pick it out right through this region. This is where the front is stalled. A few showers to the north right now. No lightning, as I mentioned, but also very little movement, so we'll watch to see if the rain expands and continues in those spots. We could see a flooding threat develop in a couple hours. If you're headed out to dinner tonight, personally, I would opt for an indoor table. That is what I'm doing tonight. I think that's going to be your best bet. Temperatures this evening should be in the 80s for those of us who don't have as much rain. 87 will be the high tomorrow, 88 on Sunday. So we're out of the 90s this weekend. It is still humid, but we do have a chance for rain each day this weekend. It's going to be about a 50% chance tomorrow during the afternoon and evening, a 20% chance in the morning, and lunchtime, 2 o'clock. That chance is 30%. Yesterday, we saw so many beautiful rainbows, some double rainbows. Thank you to everybody for sharing your WRAL Weather Watcher photos in Vass. Heather shared this with us, a full rainbow arc. If you have any WRAL Weather Watcher photos you'd like to share of the rainbows, or even sometimes you can see some eerie clouds in these setups, please share those with us. We'd love to explain what's going on with some of those fun cloud formations out there. Above normal rainfall is in the forecast through the end of the month and into the start of August. So we're not likely to get out of this wetter than normal pattern anytime soon. But as we look toward the end of the month and early August, looks like temperatures are going to flip-flop back to above normal. We knew we couldn't hold on to the 80s in July or the late summer months forever. So toward the end of the month, expect some more 90s and mid-90s to at least appear on the 7-day. For now, we're in the 80s most days. Over the weekend, upper 80s with the high humidity. It definitely still feels like summer, just not as unbearable of heat as what we've seen the past few weekends. It's a 50% chance for rain Saturday and Sunday. That chance is up to 70% Sunday night, about a 70% chance Monday night as well. Decent afternoon and evening storm chances will last into the middle of next week, but we should see our temperatures perhaps fall back into the mid-80s by the end of next week.
Kat, thank you. No parent expects their pregnancy journey to take a trip through the NICU, but one hospital is delivering gold standard care to its tiniest patients. We'll take you to the hospital where everyone is a winner.
As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few headlines we're following today.
RDU, hospitals, the DMV, and businesses in North Carolina are feeling the impacts of the global IT outage. Many people were stranded at RDU this morning. UNC Health and Duke Hospitals are reporting computer issues. Cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike is the company linked to this outage. The company says this was not a cyber attack. The firm says an update led to the outages, and they have deployed a fix.
A lightning strike sparked a fire that destroyed a Wilson County church. Neighbors say the fire started in the steeple of Spring Hill Presbyterian Church in Lucama that caused the roof to collapse. No one was hurt in the fire. Members say they plan to rebuild. They say they will hold services on Sunday, probably in the fellowship building behind the main church.
Tomorrow, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will be in Raleigh for a Democratic Unity Dinner. This comes as there's new attention on Governor Cooper. Sources close to the Biden campaign told the New York Times that Cooper could be an option as VP if Biden drops out. Cooper previously said he had not had any conversations about that role.
The list of this year's Kennedy Center honorees is out and includes Harlem's famed Apollo Theater. It's the first time an institution has been recognized by the Kennedy Center Honors. The Apollo is celebrating its 90th anniversary. It was a debut venue for a number of black performers who went on to become famous. Other honorees include Oscar-winning filmmaker Francis Ford Coppola, Bonnie Raitt, The Grateful Dead, and Cuban-American jazz trumpeter Arturo Sandoval. The ceremony takes place in December at the Opera House in Washington, D.C.
As Team USA prepares to go for the gold at the Summer Games, some tiny Americans are already winners. This will melt your heart. Patients in the NICU at a hospital in Kansas City, Missouri can't stand on the podium just yet, but they certainly look the part. One of the nurses crocheted these tiny Olympic uniforms and medals, accessories included. The parents got a cute outfit, a nice photo, and a sweet memory.
It's nice to take a break from all the seriousness and just kind of enjoy a day of fun and getting to see something else beside the wires and the tubes.
Getting to have special events that takes their mind away from kind of the struggles and challenges that they're going through is a good opportunity to kind of brighten their day.
They won't forget this day. A photographer captured each shining moment. And who knows, these babies could represent Team USA one day on the world stage.
That video makes me smile. Well, our pet of the day is a 4-month-old puppy that has been waiting for his forever home for more than 2 months now. Lawson is a 100% water dog. If you're looking to beat the heat this summer, this pup's for you. He loves playing in the pools, the beach, sprinklers, and slip and slides. Basically, if it includes water, he's all in. Lawson is currently learning basic obedience and party tricks at an SPCA foster home. If you're interested in him, visit spcawake.org to adopt him.
President Biden's campaign manager says he is not dropping out of the race. How does North Carolina play into the Democratic Party strategy to regain momentum? At 4, WRAL's Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie explains the next steps in the 2024 presidential race.
All right, we can't get enough of that NICU baby video that we just saw. Look at these babies. You gotta love them. And you said a nurse crocheted these little outfits?
Yeah, and the red, white, and blue. And, you know, you just think about what the parents must go through, you know, wondering, you know, come on, with their babies all hooked up to the machines. But just to see how cute they are in those outfits like that, it certainly puts a smile on their face.
St. Luke's, Missouri, the hospital, they're just loving this. They'll never forget that, especially as their parents.
So sweet.
Yeah. NBC News Daily is next. Your local newscast up ahead in about 30 minutes.
You can get breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. Have a great day.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.